Yes, sir, we're officially back at it. This is Boog Nice coming at you with the Mezco 112 Collective Punisher figure review. Let's do it.
This ain't for no scalper. You a scalper? Then fuck out shit. This one's for them real collectors. That's army building and posing figures. Marvel Legends, imports, mini matey I'm fucking with them. Hype beasts we know about you. Stay buying figs, don't know about it.
Taking a look at the Marvel Comics Mezco 112 Collective Punisher figure out of the package. And yo, this figure is lit. I like this figure a lot. I didn't spend any time looking at the box, but what you saw in the opening sequence was the inner portion of the box that folds out to reveal that little artwork. And then you got a double set of clamshells. The top layer has the figure and all the accessories, and then the lower level has a stand and a bag that can store all of the accessories. This is my third figure from Mezco. They've put out quite a few figures over the past year. They were slated to put out a bunch of things in 2016 that got pushed back, but they've spanned quite a few properties, and for the most part they've put out some quality figures. I already have the Dark Knight Batman, which was one of the first things that they put out, if not the first. I believe it was the first. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. And then I also have the Judge Dredd figure, which I showed in the last main course episode, and the Lawmaster that they put out for that as well. I've been pretty selective with picking these up, as I do consider this a high-end collectible. It is not a cheap figure. It's going to cost you about 80 bucks before shipping, and I was really on the fence about picking up this particular figure because this is the regular version that they're putting out now, and there's going to be a deluxe version of this figure coming out in the next couple months that has more accessories. And then speaking about accessories, let's start going over his accessories. Straight out of the package, he comes with a set of fisted hands. They're gloved. It looks like the gloves are leather. It is a very nice paint job. They're detailed. They look very good. And there's a quick look at the pegs. It was very easy to remove them. Let's see how easy it is to swap on the next set. And these were easy to swap out, no issues there. This second set has a left hand that is semi-open. I guess you could kind of use that to hold one end of his gun or the assault rifle or other items. And this is very unique. I don't think I've ever seen this as a interchangeable hand for a figure before, but it looks like it's positioned in a way to for a strike, some sort of martial arts strike or something like that. I guess he's on his Mob Deep shit right here. Rock you in your face, stab your brain with your nose bone. And then he's got a set that's semi-open with the fingers spread. And these are sort of like, why? Why? And it should be noted that the fingers on all the hands can move just a little bit. It's sort of pliable. They're not articulated or anything, but I do like that you can fit them to certain items without them breaking or anything like that. And it should also be noticed that the texture for all of these gloved hands is very nice. And then the last set of hands has two trigger fingers, and these look good. So let's start looking at some of the guns. And real quick before we get into the guns, let's actually take a look at his knife, because that can be holstered on the back of him, and I'm gonna put that on real quick. But this looks very good. You can see the bladed edge there, and you can see some sort of like serrated part right there, and the handle has a grip. Very nicely detailed. This looks very good. And you can see the sheath for the knife right there. And there is a working latch, so you need to detach that so you can slide the knife in there. And that fits in there nicely. Now let's make sure that you can close the latch. Success. No issues there. Well, let's make sure you can hold the knife. So yeah, you can hold the knife in one of the trigger finger hands, and you can hold that one no problem. And that looks very good. Either way, up or down. And he's got an assault rifle, very nicely detailed. This looks very good. A little surprise here. The clip can come out, and you can actually see a little bullet right there at the top. So that is very nice attention to detail, and he can hold that with no problem, and that looks very good. And you can see his finger is in the trigger groove, and there's no problem fitting the gun into his hand because again the hands are sort of pliable. So no issues there. And he actually comes with an extra clip for the assault rifle. So if you wanted to have him holding one clip or maybe tape one clip to the side of the gun or something like that, then that would be cool. And he also comes with an MP5 machine gun. And this looks very good as well. I think they did an excellent job on all of the details on the guns. It's not overkill, but it does look very authentic, like a piece of hardware. And just like the assault rifle, the clip can come out and you can see a bullet at the top of the mag, and you do get an extra clip that can be inserted with no problem as well. So that looks very good, and he can hold that with no issues. Bang bang. And then he's got a pistol. I believe this is a 45. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But this too is very nicely detailed. You can see the silver on the tip. You can see the silver on the hammer. And it looks like the grip is a rubber grip maybe, or supposed to be a rubber grip. It's textured. It's very nice. And just like the other guns, the clip can come out of here. And there's a bullet at the top of the mag. Beautiful. And there's an extra clip for the pistol as well, and he can hold the pistol with no problem. His finger is in the trigger groove. Everything looks authentic. And then his last weapon is the big street sweeper. Ya Looney Tune, the street sweeper is not a broom. And this looks very nice. And you can see the stock can fold up or down. And this barrel actually comes out as well. I'll take that out in a second. But very nice detail on all of these guns, man. They all look so authentic. And you actually get 6 shells that can be inserted. So again, the attention to detail here is just tremendous. And he can hold this one. I wouldn't say that it's without issue. I'm not really a fan of how he grips this particular gun, and I really don't like this midsection here of the gun. It's a little flimsy. I hope this is something that is better on a deluxe version, but I am a fan of the playability with this, and the gun does look very good. And you also get a little muzzle flare that can be inserted into the assault rifle, into the MP5, and into the pistol, as there is a little hole in the barrel of all the guns where this can be pegged in. And that looks good. And although I think that might be a little large for the pistol, it still kind of works. And he also comes with a couple interchangeable heads. So before we get into those, let's just kind of go over the one that is attached to him straight out of the package. And I think this looks very good. I think the skin tone is great. You can see a couple of little scars on his lip and on his chin. And the paintwork on the eyes look very good. You can see some stress marks on his brow, and his hair is slicked back. He's got like a 2 o'clock shadow, not quite a 5 o'clock shadow yet, but this looks very good. And there's a look at the ball peg, and then he comes with a angry screaming face, and this looks very good. Look at his teeth. You can see each individual tooth, and you can see his tongue in there. And more stress up around the brow, obviously because his face is sort of clenched and his mouth is open. And they've done an excellent job on these heads. And then finally, his very last accessory is the battle damaged head. And you can see his right eye is blacked and swollen, and he's got a band-aid across his nose, and the band-aid looks phenomenal. And he's got more scarring on the face, and you can see his hair is a little disheveled. It's not really all slicked back anymore. And just going over some of the details on the deco, and you can see all of the details and all of these pouches and the buckles, and they left nothing out here. Every buckle, every strap, everything is there, highly detailed and painted very nice all the way around. The buckles here on the body armor, this is a hard plastic. You know, the straps, the buckles all the way around. This is a textured material here on the body armor, and we already saw the knife and how that holsters in. Everything looks so good. This is supposed to be I guess on the elbow. It's not really as close to the elbow as I would like, but that's supposed to be like a leather material there. The shirt is fitted, and I guess it's supposed to be like one of those sort of old military shirts underneath his body armor here, but it's fitted. In pictures, I didn't think it looked that good, but in person, it looks very good. And the pants are a different material, and I don't really know what material that is. The boots, very nicely detailed. All of the little buckles, you can see the laces, you can see every buckle, every strap, treads on the bottom. Now, in terms of articulation, you do get a pretty decent range of motion, but this is where I actually have some minor gripes. The head is on a ball joint, as you saw. It'll look down pretty far. It'll look up pretty far. You'll get a good range of motion on the head. It'll pivot. It'll turn left and right. I really like this pivot. You know, that's really going to give him some personality when you're taking pictures and doing your A.C.B.A. and whatnot. So that's good. Shoulders on a ball joint. They'll go up pretty far. They'll do a full 360, but you probably don't want to do that because you don't want to stress the material of the shirt. And that is a minor gripe when it comes to these type of figures, is you got to be careful with stressing the material. So you definitely don't want to try to do a full 360 with the arm, but the articulation is there underneath. You do get an upper bicep swivel. You do get a decent bend on the elbow. I wouldn't say that it's double jointed, probably just a little bit more than 90 degrees, but it's there. You get a nice swivel on the wrist and a hinge. You're going to get the same thing on both sides as far as the arm. This is removable. I'm trying to actually figure out how to take this body armor off. I'm pretty sure you can take it off. I want to explore the articulation on the upper torso. So this is removable. There is a little latch, so you can take that from around his waist, the pouches. And boom, this can come apart right here. So you can take the body armor off. So there's that. I do know that the deluxe version comes with a interchangeable body armor with like the red Punisher logo. So it would have made no sense if you couldn't take this one off. So that's cool, and you could kind of see the physique there, and he's definitely looking pretty brolic. And now let's see what this looks like in the upper torso. So yeah, you get a little ab crunch. It'll go back and forth. You do get some rotation at the upper torso. I don't know. You don't get anything at the waist, though. It's not bending at the waist, unfortunately. But there is articulation there. And again, you want to be careful with all of this here. You don't want to stress this material. But I really do like the look of this without the armor. It still looks very authentic. So it looks like you got a ball joint at the pelvis. The legs will go out pretty far. They'll come up just about that far again. It's hindered a little bit by the pants. You do get a nice double jointed knee. You do get rotation at the upper boot. This is where I have another gripe. You don't really get any hinge on the foot, and you get a very small ankle pivot. It'll rotate here, but the pivot is not the greatest. And I know that's been a gripe with some Mezco figures with people, but the leg articulation is good, but the boots, this is annoying to me. I don't like that there is no hinge, and that's a problem when you're trying to stand them up, and I really don't like that you don't get a nice deep pivot. But overall, it is still a decent amount of articulation, not bad. Couple quick size comparisons. You can see the Walgreens exclusive Marvel Legends Punisher on the left, and you can see that the Mezco Punisher is actually just a tad bit shorter than a Legends version, and you can see a 7-inch scale figure with the NECA Leatherface on the right, and there's Shredder on the left, and Figma Samas on the right. So I realized that when you roll up the sleeves, you can actually get the full bend on the elbow, and it is double jointed, and it is a very nice touch that you can roll up the sleeves here on his shirt. So this figure is dope, man. I really like this figure a lot. It is one that I would highly recommend. Now, like I mentioned early on, it's about $80 before shipping, so that is a bit pricey, but you do get quite a few accessories, and the detail and everything on this guy is top notch. Now, if you want to hold out and wait for the deluxe version, that version will include a trench coat and a bag and more weapons and quite a few different accessories that you don't get with this particular version. But the deluxe version is about $130, and that is very pricey as well. So it is quite a dilemma. And real quick, I want to say shout out to my man Al Chang, because this is not even actually my figure. I picked this up from my man Al Chang and asked him if it was okay if I could review it, because I wanted to check it out and I wanted to see how I was feeling about the deluxe version, because I do have the deluxe version coming. We have quite a few of those that are going to be sold through the A.C.B.A website, and I was going to keep one for myself, but I wanted to check out this figure and see, you know, if it was worth making the investment for the deluxe version. And in my personal opinion, I'm cool with it. I'm okay with spending $130 on the deluxe version. Don't get me wrong, that's a lot of money, but I do really like this figure. The only thing that would have really taken this over the top for me is if the boot articulation, the foot articulation was better. That is something that I really want to see Mezco work on, but they're going in the right direction and they're killing it with you know, the releases that they've put out so far. So I'm looking forward to see what else they do in 2017. And until next time, peace.
That's crispy.